guys, so as we have no Shokugeki no Soma chapter this week, I will do a theory sort of video. Basically, ever since I got into Shokugeki no Soma, I have had two theories or predictions regarding the first year of Soma, so this current year that they are in. And basically I thought that one person from our main group of people, so like Polish Stardom or like people that are close to them, so like the Aldinis, Alice, Kurokiba, Hayama, you know, that group, one of those people will get expelled and one of those people will get into the Elite 10. So let's start with the person who will get expelled, because we are right now in the promotion exams, which means that there is a very big chance that someone could get expelled as we are doing exams. So I have 4 people who I think might get expelled. So the first person on my list is actually the former 7th seed of the Elite 10, Ishiki. And while he might not actually be in this exam because he is a second year, I feel like there might be a great chance that he could get expelled because 1, he is not on Asami's good side right now. 2, he is planning something with the 2 other Elite 10 members who also got not expelled from the Elite 10 but thrown out of the council because they didn't approve of Central's ideals. And 3, we have foreshadowing and people saying that even if Ishiki was to drop out of Tutsuki, he would still have a place in the cooking world. I think one of those people who said it was the one of the Curry twins from the autumn election arc, who was like, "Oh, Ishiki, you should just drop out of school now because we give you a lot of money if you just come work for us." And he turned her down, but you know, the possibility is there. So I think he might get expelled, not because he's a bad cook, but because Central doesn't like him. The second person on my list is Yuki. And the reason I think that she might get expelled is actually because of what has happened in recent chapters. Yuki has been in focus a lot recently, I feel like. Not so much in the previous 2 or 3 chapters, but right in the beginning of this arc, as well as by the end of last arc. And Yuki is, while she's not a main character, she's still very noticeable. Yuki is always the first to show emotion, she's always the first to speak her mind, to cry, to cheer, to just in general do stuff, and she's very supportive of our characters. And I think in the fandom, people might not care all that much about her. However, the people in the Polar Stardom and around in that group of friends, they care an awful lot about her. So I think that if she were to get expelled, it would have a really big impact on our main characters, but it wouldn't really do too much to the story, as she has not really shown her I don't know, she's not as important as Megumi and Soma and Alice and Irina and people like that, but she's still relatively important, so she could get expelled and it would have an effect. The next person on my list is actually 2 people, so I should say people on my list. The 2 dudes whose name I don't remember, but let me just read them. Aoki Daigo and Sato Shoji. Those 2 dudes from the Polar Stardom. I think they might get expelled because I feel like they are kind of just there, and I'm not sure what their actual purpose is. Because from the get-go they've been there, so I feel like the mangaka has some sort of idea for these people, yet all they do is bicker in the background and just they're just there as cheerleaders. So I'm thinking, what's the point of them? And I think maybe having them expelled would also deal the impact that, for example, Yuki getting expelled would do, but just again, because we don't really care about them as readers, it wouldn't affect us too much, so the outrage wouldn't really be oh my god, Megumi got expelled kind of thing. But the impact for the main characters would be there, and it would strengthen their resolve to fight and win against Central, who are pretty corrupt or whatever. Next on my list is not actually a person, but more an option. I think that maybe we could have the kind of Megumi situation we had back in the training camp, where someone could get expelled, but because they were expelled on false reason, so they weren't expelled because they were bad cooks, but because Central just wanted to get rid of them, they might come back when Asami is no longer principal. But that would have to mean that Asami would have to stand down soon, or the person could come back, and the person who would come back would be like a really good chef who could develop and improve outside the school, so that the time they missed in Sutsuki wouldn't be that big of a deal. So like Alice, or maybe like Takumi, who has his restaurant back in Italy, or someone of that sort who would be able to improve outside the school. So on to my second prediction. One of our main characters will ascend to become a part of the Elite 10. Now, of course, as we now have 3 open spots, this is very likely to happen. The only problem with one of our main characters becoming a part of the Elite 10 is, of course, that Asami doesn't really like them. They are part of the rebel group, and having them as part of the Elite 10 wouldn't really fit well into his plans. However, if you remember correctly, like 20 chapters ago, Tsukasa actually invited Soma to become a part of Central. So that means that even if Asami doesn't really approve of the rebels becoming part of Central, some of the other Elite 10 members might do. And we have Rindo now in the current arc, who is the second seed, so she might have some influence in what's to come. On to the people who I think will become a part of the Elite 10. I think the obvious person who pops into mind when thinking of future Elite 10 members is Hayama Akira, the winner of the Autumn Election arc, and just a really good chef in general. The only problem with him, of course, being a part of Central and a part of the Elite 10, is that June has probably kind of lost her job now because all seminars have been closed, and Hayama isn't really a big fan of Central. What I think might happen is that Hayama and Asami will have like some sort of deal. They will form a deal so that Hayama will become part of the Elite 10 or part of Central, and June will get her job back, basically. Hayama cares way too much about June, and he does put her like well-being and her wishes above anything else, so that might be a thing that could happen, or something of the sort. So basically, he might become part of the Elite 10 not because he wants to, but because he wants June to get back what she had taken from her. The second person on my list is Arato Hisako, and I think the reason that she might become a member of the Elite 10 is because of Irina, who is no longer her father's puppet. So Asami will need someone or some way of controlling Irina again, and I think doing it through her best friend Hisako will be the best way for him to deal with that. He already knows that they are very close because they have been so from childhood, and in general he knows everything about Irina. So having Arato as a part of the Elite 10 or Central, and then controlling her, and by controlling her, controlling Irina, that would be in Asami's favor rather than just putting some random people into Central. The third person on my list, I'm probably also the least likely person at the moment, but the person that I always thought would be the next member of the Elite 10 is Nakari Alice. Of course, I think she's an amazing chef, she's an amazing person, and she's a Nakari, so it would make sense for her to ascend to the Elite 10 eventually. However, about 10 chapters ago, she spoke against Asami publicly, and that's probably not something that Asami wants in Central or the Elite 10. However, I think that if Asami were to stand down soon, she might still become a member of the Elite 10 sooner than we expect. The last person on my list is Mimasaki Subaru, and I think he might ascend to the Elite 10 because, one, he used to work for Asan, and Asan is still a part of the Elite 10, and he probably still thinks that Mimasaka is somewhat controllable. And Mimasaka has the talent that Central is looking for, because they want people to copy the recipes of the Elite 10 rather than use their own creativity to create their own. And Mimasaka, his entire cooking, at least before Soma beat him in the Autumn Elections, was based around copying recipes and then just putting a little twist on it. So I think he might be able to ascend to that position, and that would be good for like the rebels, because Mimasaka is kind of their ally now that he looks up to Soma and Takumi and yeah, all of those people. But yeah, those are my current thoughts on what might happen in the future of Shokugeki no Soma. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Who do you think will ascend to the Elite 10 now that we have 3 open spots? Do you think it will be anyone we know, or just 3 new central puppets that we have yet to see or have seen very briefly? And yeah, do you think anyone will get expelled in this arc, because this is an exam and people, I feel like, are bound to fail at some point. But yeah, if you liked anything that I had to say, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you want to see more of me. I also do reviews, usually, of One Piece, Shokugeki no Soma of course, and Haikyuu. So if you are into any of those, please subscribe to me. And also, if you want to see it, I did a review of One Piece film Gold yesterday. The first part of it is spoiler free, so even if you haven't watched the movie, you can still watch it. There should be a link right here somewhere. And yeah, go watch that, and until next time, bye!